YouTube. And we should be live on YouTube, even though it's not ticking down. There we go. Hope everyone's had a good day. Hope everyone's surviving these volatile markets, man. What a day, what a day, what a couple of weeks that we've been having in the markets. I mean, if you guys watched what happened to oil today. Lots of drama. Lots. I mean, look at oil here. It's insane. Lots of drama going on in the oil world, as I think we dumped what, like 15%, and then we pumped, or no, we dumped like 12%, then pumped like 15%. So some staffer, they're blaming it on, tweeted today that the United States government successfully transversed with an oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz. So a staffer tweeted that. I don't remember if it was from the White House account or it was someone at the Department of Energy tweeted that. And oil just dumped, right? It just sank. It sank like 15% off of that news, off of a tweet. That's what we got. We are in a Twitter economy. What up, Eddie? I'm live. We are in a tweet economy, apparently. So staffer from the Department of Energy tweeted, we successfully got an oil tanker we escorted them through the Strait of Hormuz, and then they deleted that tweet, and then it came out that that wasn't the case, and then oil ripped its face off today. I mean, it dumped and then ripped. I mean, it popped 16% after that tweet was deleted. So it's a roller coaster, man. It's a wild, wild west out here in the markets, and then it doesn't get any easier the rest of the week. So, you know, the overtone for everything right now is obviously the war. Right. But then tomorrow we got inflation data coming out. We got CPI tomorrow, an hour before the market opens. But that's not it. Right. On Thursday, we have jobless claims. You know what I mean? But then we got PCE and GDP on Friday as well. So I would expect it to continue to be a volatile week in these markets. I hope everyone's staying safe out there. I hope everyone's staying nimble, not being crushed. I'm on repeat. All right, Eddie, I think it's you, brother. I think it's you. I sound okay, TikTok? I sound okay now? Eddie, am I good? I hope so. I'm not wearing my normal headphones, so I don't know if there's feedback coming through or not. But wild day in oil. You know, maybe this flag was going to kind of break down, but then we reclaimed it here. So we're still, we're pretty much where we started the day. You know, still high, still $86 a barrel. Still a lot higher than a lot of people would like, myself included. And we'll see what tomorrow brings. We'll see what tweets the government fires off tomorrow and what happens. Now there's news coming out. They're putting mines in the Strait of Hormuz. So just stay nimble. That's the name of the game. The dollar came up a little bit here. We came up from 98.5 to about 98.9 today. We're looking here. Do we take out this high and get accepted as the dollar continue to creep up? I think all eyes will be on that inflation report tomorrow morning. So pay attention to that as we get into tomorrow. What up, Dave? Yes. Awesome. Other than that, NASDAQ today, Chop City, baby. I mean, it was Chop City pretty much all week, right? I mean, just up, down. It definitely has been a roller coaster. So right now, the NASDAQ, the Qs, right? QQQ, NASDAQ, whatever. I mean, the chart looks the same. Like, look at NQ or the actual index or the Qs themselves, the ETFs. It's that $25,000 level right now that we're having a little bit of battle with, and that should not be a surprise. It's a, nice round psychological number, quarter level theory, anybody, right? Above it, we go up. Maybe we attack the highs again, but right now we've just been battling it since the beginning of February. At the end of the day, it's just been like just rope-a-doping right around this level, right? Just been kind of pegged to this level now, damn near for a month straight. I mean, really, we got there. I mean, really for a long time. I mean, really, you think about it, it's been 7 months. It's been 7 months just chopping around this $25,000 level that we've just been chopping sideways. Right, ES over on the S&P 500. I guess we're a little bit underneath of the level that it's been fighting. It's kind of that $6,800 level, which would be the similar level. I mean, there it is right there, right? Resistance, support. It's just flipping back and forth between support and resistance. we're right at it, right at 6,800 bucks right now. So very similar spots. That shouldn't really be a surprise to anybody there. Choppy till midterms, then get a 2-year policy clarity. It could be choppy till midterms. Just so much uncertainty. Close all my long, says Eddie. Today, no chance I'm holding into CPI tomorrow. Might not be a bad idea. Who knows what tomorrow's going to bring. So the last inflation report we got, one of the hottest inflation reports in recent memory, right? Like I can't think of a time. I mean, there probably is. I just can't think of it. So it hasn't happened recently where it came in so hot. So yeah, not a bad move, Eddie. We'll see how the dust settles tomorrow with consumer inflation data as that comes out. And then we got the tweet economy too. Who knows what some staffer at the Department of Energy will tweet tomorrow, right? I do day trade, Mahara. I do day trade. It's what I do. It's how I make my money. Sure isn't enough of doing this. What about gold? Let's look at gold. That's a good question. Let's look at gold. I mean, gold is still winding up, right? I mean, you had that big, we all remember that, end of January flash crash we had where things got a little bit overheated, a little bit crazy in gold and silver and even minor stocks and other boomer rocks, right? But she's winding back. She's a winding back here. I mean, the level that we were watching here for a long time was that kind of $5,100 level that it's just resistance for so long, right? Resistance after that initial crash. And now it's just support. So I think for the gold bulls, I think you're still good above that $5,100 level. I think underneath it, what are you doing again, right? You're just accepting into a lower range. When we keep stuff just super simple like that, I think the bulls are sitting pretty comfortable above that $5,100 level right now. Just as like a more zoomed out view on this, right? I think it looks good. I think the bulls probably don't have too much to worry about until you start taking out these lows down here. Because I mean, we're just higher highs, higher lows. What do you want? Bulls are in charge, right? Bulls are in charge right now until this again shifts lower, right? If we just keep this super simple. So really right now for gold, I think the level to watch for maybe a little shift is that $5,000 level at the end of the day, right? So if we break these lows, I think, probably come down a little bit lower. Where do we go? Maybe 4,800, something like that would be probably my first area I would look for a reaction for the market to react at. But right now, like if you can take out that 51.8, you got a good shot at putting in a new local high here. So I'll be watching really those two levels. It's just consolidating, right? It's been consolidating really since the beginning of March. I mean, that's what this is right here, right? So, I mean, just break up, go higher, attack the highs, break lower, you attack the lows down there. Nice little range though, a little tradable range. You taking any trades on this? So that's kind of gold, Jonathan. What else you guys been looking at today? Hey guys, if you're new here, smash that like, subscribe, smash that heart over on TikTok. Get me into the algorithm. Otherwise, if you guys have a chart, you have something you're looking at, drop it in. We'll take a look at it tonight. HIMS. You guys see what happened with HIMS? HIMS popped 50%. And then, so HIMS, the lawsuit was dropped from what, Noble? Noble dropped the lawsuit. They're allowed to move forward with their weight loss drug. This thing popped 50%. I mean, really, if you include the wick from today, 67% from Monday. So, yesterday to today, up 60%. It has retraced a little bit. So we actually today swept yesterday's high. And I know one of our guys, Brandon, caught this trade. It was a really nice trade today. He caught the short off of that one. Real simple. Mark out yesterday's high. Look for that liquidity grab. He grabbed it. Trap traders shorted it on down. So nice little trade for Brandon today. I wanted to gamble on this one yesterday. When I saw this thing pop 50%, 60%, I was like, man, that thing's got to come back, right? And it's no surprise where HIMS popped into, where it pumped into. I mean, look where it pumped to, right? I mean, who says technical analysis is bullshit? Look at this. Where did it pump to? Right there. Like, why is that a surprise, right? Resistance, support, pumped right into it. Dead stop, right? That's where the news pumped us right into. Right back testing major support and resistance around that $24 level. So find acceptance above to go higher. Otherwise, maybe this turns into a beautiful short and we close that gap. Who knows? HIMs have been looking ugly for a pretty long time. Could you check out CIEN? Sure. Boy, this thing's just been straight up. What do they do? What is Sienna Corporation? Networking company, huh? It's premier global provider of optical networking equipment, software, and services. Supporting AI data set. Okay, so it's kind of an AI play, huh? Data center connectivity, 5G infrastructure. I'll tell you, it looks, I mean, it's solid. This thing has been just up and up and up and up. I mean, shit. Since September of 2025, this thing's up 275%. So I think still higher time frame structure. Bulls are still in charge. It's still higher highs, higher lows. The dips are still being bought, right? So that tells me that there's still momentum behind this. Yeah, it did have probably one of its largest pullbacks since this run up here. So this is going to be something to watch here as we come up and attack these highs again. If it can't break that high, then you're starting to see some weakness coming in, right? As now these rips are being sold. So I think if you're in a play on this one right now, you're watching those highs up there, right? If we get sold, if we double top here, or if we even sweep and reclaim, I would get a little bit nervous, right? But right now it looks good. Right, so right now the job of this particular asset is, look, we put in a low. We got a couple days towards a high. So watch what happens here. Is it going to be lower high, and then we're just attacking the lows, and now we see our kind of first sign of real weakness here, or does it take out the high and keep running? So from like a bird's eye view, zooming out on this thing, I think that's the plan, right? Watch that. I got to get rid of that. Watch that 366.53. Watch that 279.63. Watch what happens here, right? If we break it and sweep it, I would be concerned because that thing's probably coming back down to attack the lows. But if we break it and accept higher, if you see effort increase, if you see participation increase here, we should just go higher. And there's no levels above us, right? So, you know, what does it go to? 400? You know, psychological number, 450, something like that. You know, who knows? But it looks strong. It looks strong. I don't see any weakness yet, but watch that high, watch that low. I agree, Marcos. I agree with you, brother. I always say, show me a chart and I'll show you the news, not the other way around. I mean, you look at NVIDIA earnings, right? You run up into NVIDIA earnings. What happens when NVIDIA earnings post? We dump. When we're running down into NVIDIA earnings and they post, what happens? You pump every single time. And show me the news and I'll show you where we're going to pump in, a couple logical areas where we're going to pump into. It just, market's always seeking out liquidity. So it's not a surprise on HIMs that we pumped to where we did. The new, we might have pumped there anyways, right? The news just got us there quicker at the end of the day. Kraken Robotics, as a matter of fact, you know who was looking at Kraken today was John in our Discord. Kraken Robotics strong. So this is like looking at CN, right? What we just looked at. There's the high. We broke it. It's 1 day of accepting higher. You want to see this hold now. So it has been chopping sideways really since January of 2026. Boom, 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 right? Some might call that a bull flag. You know, just a little bit of accumulation there, blew through the level. So now the job of the bulls here is to hold that $7 level. Nice psychological level. It was resistance. Hold it. And if it does come in for a back test, hold it. Because if we fail that back test, you're coming back down to like $5. So to be a short in there, you know, I tell you that. But as far as longs go, this thing is what? In price discovery. You know, the highest that's ever been. So it's showing strength. Again, I don't see weakness yet. The only time that I would get concerned is, again, if we lose that breakout to where this was just a fake out. So looks good. If you're long in this thing, you know, if you're long from down here, or you're holding it, wondering whether to take profits or not, let it run, man. Let it breathe. And then your invalidation is what? Getting accepted back into range. And then, because you're probably coming down there. but it looks good. I wouldn't be too concerned yet until we lose that level. What about Lumentum? Lumentum Holdings, LITE. Let's take a look. Let's zoom out here a little bit, see the bigger picture. Again, another strong trade. This looks similar to Sienna. So I wonder, is this an AI type adjacent thing as well? Lumentum Holdings. So telecommunications equipment company, fiber optic, partnering with NVIDIA, AI connectivity. So no surprise that the stock looks the same or similar, right? A lot of the AI adjacent stocks are kind of looking similar right now. So this would be a very similar technical approach to this one, to where we've put in a low, right? So the bulls are still buying the dip right now. So we got a low, we got a higher low, we got a higher low. I guess maybe you could call that a high. It was more of like sideways consolidation, but this is for sure a high here. So the job of the bulls right now is to break this high. And if we can't break that high, then that's the first warning sign that something might be changing, right? Something might be changing if we can't break that high. So watch these next couple days, this next week here. Do we come up and attack this high again, get acceptance higher? Do we sweep it, fall back in, and there's a short in there, maybe back down to attack that low again? Because if we do put in a lower high, it could be a weak high, and we're just going to attack, or strong high, excuse me, we're just going to attack the lows. So very similar setup to Sienna here on this one. I think the big two levels you're watching, 550, 782 there. And then what happens with this high? Is it a lower high? Do we sweep? Do we break and accept higher? But again, right now, as things stand, bulls are still in control on this one. The dips are being bought, right? Dips are being bought on this one. So now are the rips being sold or not? That's the next question we got to ask. And we don't know that until we come up here and attack that 780. Shares at the price of 40 on average. I work at Sienna. Oh, nice. Nice. Nice, Dr. Thunder. Good stuff. That's true. AI doesn't work without moving the data. 100%. 100%. Circle is moving up. Yes. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Well, I don't remember when I was looking at this, if it was earlier today or what. But I mean, this is what I'm talking about. It's like, here's the high. You attack the high. Do we get accepted higher? I mean, this is obviously accepting higher. Right now it's battling this low, this previous low right here. Bears are trying to say, hey, let's not go any higher. Bulls are still in control though. There's not a whole lot of structure though. So if this is like a perfect example of fast up, fast down in the markets, right? So when you go down quickly, it's a higher probability that if you get acceptance above this high here, you're going to go up quickly. And we did. And where did we go up quickly to, right? Where we slow down. So it's no surprise that here we are again, right? We're right to where we've been before. So this is definitely an area to watch. This is definitely something to watch. So if we do get accepted, maybe above that kind of $123, $122 level, you know, then your a high to attack is at $154 level, because then you're accepting back into a range, a previous auction, right? This is an auction. We spent time here. We did business here. This is an important area. Buyers and sellers agreed here for a while. They chopped sideways before what? When bears took over. We lost the auction. Then we auctioned down here. Now we skipped all of this mess because there's just nothing there. It's just dead space. It's just air, right? So watch for acceptance a little bit higher here. You know, 123, 124, 125 bucks, because then 160 bucks is in play again, I think, on that one. Or we reject here and this thing comes down just as quickly again at the end of the day, right? But nice showing, nice strong showing, up 38% since it broke. And again, that's a pretty quick 38%, just like it was a pretty quick down on that one. It's a good one though. T-Pet, I got a few shares of Johnson & Johnson. We can take a look at that. Let's look at T-Pet, look at Johnson & Johnson here. Trio Petroleum Group. Why does this look such ass? I mean, this is like dead cat bounce stuff off of news, right? unless they're doing something I just don't know that's news related. But I mean, this thing's ugly. This looks like a crypto shitcoin that's dead, and the team rug pulled it, right? This isn't my cup of tea. If you know something that I don't know, let me know. But it's dead cap. This is what a dead cap bounce is. A dead cap bounce is when it bounces and sweeps and then dumps right away, right? Where it bounces, sweeps, and then dumps right away and just continues lower. That's all that is. And it's been doing that for so long. So yeah, it gets little runs, but they sell off so quickly as people are just creating liquidity just to exit, or just messing around there. But this is a tough one to chart, man, because it's just like straight line. When I got to do this on something, that's a tough one. That's a tough one for me. And I'm just being honest. Boom, 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 boom. Johnson & Johnson. A nice consumer staple. They've been hot. Johnson & Johnson. Consumer staples, man, it's where a lot of the profits from gold went when people took profits. It's no surprise that when gold and silver dumped, consumer staples took off. That's another area that people tend to sometimes hedge into when there's uncertainty in the market. So your Walmarts, your Costco's, just like things that you use every day, right? Shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, medicine, stuff like that. So it's no surprise that when gold got super extended and people started, taking profits out of their gold, that consumer staples ran. It happened at about the same time. So Johnson & Johnson, consumer staples right now, when we are in kind of market uncertainty, I think it's a good play. I really do. It is, I believe, the highest it's ever been, right? So we're in price discovery on Johnson & Johnson. Strong showing, bull still in control on this one. And you can look at, like, if you want to see the consumer staple industry as a whole, there it is. You can look at, let's see. So where are we? Like XLP, right? It's a consumer staples ETF, so it has a lot of those in there. It broke up the same time gold did. Maybe watch it a little bit here too, though. If gold starts pumping again and people get a little bit skittish on the economy, if inflation comes roaring back, if we get a hot inflation report tomorrow, watch these consumer ETFs like XLP, for example. If we again get accepted lower, we might have a little bit of downturn in these consumer staples like Johnson & Johnson. But Johnson & Johnson looks strong right now. Like, it's not doing what some of the other consumer staples are doing. It's just higher. Bulls are in control here, right? They're just melting its face off right now. There's no levels above us. There's, maybe some lows to watch, some highs to watch. Like, maybe we come back and back test that thing if you lose 214. But it looks good. Johnson & Johnson looks good. Neo, what up, Fraser 34. Smash that heart button, subscribe, turn on notifications. Either myself or Eddie goes live every night. If you are new to trading or you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, we have free courses. We are not course sellers. We're not link pushers. We are traders first. I have free courses, tacticaledgetraders.com. Get you a little bit of an understanding of these markets, build you a foundation, 100% free, doesn't cost you $1. Interesting level right now for Neo. So this dotted line's where price currently is. I'm going to make it a solid line just by hitting Alt J. And what do you notice there? It's been an important level. I mean, going all the way back to what IPO in 2018, you have a bounce off of that, and then we lost it. And then you had a back test, and then we lost it. And then you had a higher low out of there that pumped us out of there. And look where we are now. Like, going back to February 2024, this 550. I mean, it's $5.50. Again, nice round psychological level. Resistance. It's just been flipping back and forth, support and resistance here. So I think the decision will obviously be made here, but it's going to be made at the highs, right? You got the highs, lows. It's pretty much just kind of ranging sideways now since 2024, since the beginning of 2024. So for almost 2 years, it's been just kind of chopping sideways right now. You're middle of the range. We're middle of the range at 550. So is it the best buy right now? I don't know. Maybe if we get acceptance above the 550, there's a good shot. Again, anytime we spend time above 550, it moves fast, right? Fast up, fast down, fast up, fast down. So if we can get acceptance above 550, it's probably going to be fast up again because the market has memory, and that's what we've done previously. But I would watch that $8 level again, a nice round number, nice psychological level for potential take profit, right? Maybe leave a runner in case it runs. But I mean, that'd be a nice trade. You know, I'd take that. It's a 42% pump. I'll take it. Take it all day long. So I think those are the three main levels. You know, about $3, about 550, about $8 right now. If we can crack that kind of 550 and get acceptance higher, it's going up to $8. I'd be looking at profit taking there. But if we get acceptance higher, you leave a little bit of a runner, you start attacking these highs, right? Again, kind of just a bird's eye view. Bird's eye view look at this one. Rivian. Let's look at Rivian. What did I just see about Rivian? Aren't they coming with a new car? Aren't they about to release something new? We're building, man. I mean, this is a nice little rounded bottom here. Look at this. Boom. Right? And you know how these typically play out? Boom. That's how they typically play out. So, you know, we're forming a little bit of a trend, right? Higher highs, higher lows. Well, maybe not so much higher highs, but higher lows. I mean, that still tells me that right now the dips are being bought, right? So bulls are in control, but they're a little bit skittish because we're not making higher highs. But they still are in control, more so than the bears are at the moment. So again, anytime it's touched this trend line going back almost 2 years, it's been a buy. It's been a buy off of this trend line. I mean, that's what the market has been doing. That's why we've been making higher lows here. So the job for Rivian though is to get out of this range. It's to leave it. It's to take out this high at 22.55 in order to auction higher. But it's building back. It had a nasty, you know, a nasty go at it. But this is nice. This is interesting to me that it's coming back. You know, here's the flip side. This is an easy one to manage risk against, right? This is an easy one for invalidation. Like if we lose this trend, this diagonal, which is just what at the end of the day, human behavior, right? Where are people placing stops? Below this, right? Below the highs, below the lows. If we lose it, right, we're going to start sucking all those stops up. Whether they're mental, whether it's an options thing, whether it's just people holding and buying and watching the structure right now. So the invalidation's easy, right? Buy off that line, put your stop below the recent low and target that 22.55. But didn't they announce some new car or something I just saw? Or something? Rivian surprised us with 2 new models, the R2. It was the R2. Star Wars. That's what I was thinking. I read that today. Discover the R2, bold new 5-seater electric US or SUV, I should say. They got a couple new cars coming out, the R2 and the R3. We'll have to see how that pans out. Come in spring of 2026. That's what they look like. 300-mile range, 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. Better charging. So yeah. New cars. Hopefully that goes good for them. I feel like the past 2 weeks, the major players have been moving different. Either that or I just have been trading really off. It's just a weird market, brother. It's just risk off. That's all it is right now. I wouldn't overthink it other than what people are doing right now is not loading up for long term. They're holding shorter positions. That's what risk off means. A lot of people think risk off just means short or long. And that's oversimplifying it. People are in and out of positions quicker right now. I mean, dude, you had oil dumped 15% today and ran 11% today. A single tweet can send the market up or down right now. And people know that. So they're just not positioning long-term right now. And I think that's what smart money's doing. They're not over risking, right? They're not over leveraging right now. They're playing it safe. I mean, that's why gold has been ripping. You know, they're just playing it safe right now. It's a tough market. It is a tough market. I haven't had a good couple of weeks, brother. I'm a losing trader over the last 2 weeks, right? But here's the difference between me and most people who have a bad couple of weeks. My good weeks outweigh the bad weeks, right? It's all about protecting your downside at the end of the day. The last 2 weeks have been rough for me. It's been rough for a lot of people just because of all the uncertainty in the market, but I've sized down. I've stuck to my stop losses. I'm losing over the last 2 weeks, but you know what? It's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. I had a good 3 weeks before that. That's going to offset any bad couple weeks that I have. A couple bad weeks should not, and I'm not saying this is you, dude. I'm not preaching or lecturing to you specifically, but bad weeks happen. That's part of trading. That's part of trading. So, people always ask me, like, how do I survive drawdowns? Like, how do I act when I have a bad couple of weeks? And my answer is, what are you talking about? Like, you mean a normal week? Because losing weeks are what happens in trading. But what the difference between how I act now versus how I acted 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago is I'm risked accordingly, right? I'm not losing. When I lose small. When I win, I either win small or win big. And that's the formula. It's just basic elementary math at the end of the day. That's all trading is. It's I forget who said it. Was it Richard Dennis who said trading is not about being right or predicting which direction price is going. It's simply about when I lose, how much do I lose? And when I win, how much do I win? It's basic elementary math at the end of the day. So it has been a tough couple of weeks. And it has been a tough couple of weeks for everybody. I'll give you that. But just stay nimble. That's the regime that we're in right now, right? Is just stay nimble. Don't marry positions right now. Get in, get out, cut it, move on, right? Maybe smaller position sizing, maybe more no trade days. And that's what it's been for me. I've only had 4 trades over the last 2 weeks. That's it. 4 trades. 5, I'm still in one right now. So maybe 5 technically total. It's not just you, brother. Oh, sister. Sorry. My bad. It's not just you. Trust me, it's not just you. It's a tough market right now. It is. It's a risk off market. Can you go over Uber stock? Sure. And I'm not embarrassed to talk about my losses. Be wary of the influencers that act like they never lose because they're full of shit. They are full of it. Uber here, boy, just a big old range, right? Just a big old range on Uber. I actually did a podcast today talking about my last 2 weeks. It drops tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. over on our other YouTube channel, Tactical Edge Trading. Maybe that'll give you some, maybe that'll uplift you a little bit. I basically just rambled for an hour over the last couple of weeks in the market. Big range on Uber. Again, I still think that the overall bigger picture for Uber right now is still bulls are in control. Who's in control right now? It's the bulls until you lose one of these lows. And really, I think the lows are lining up with the trend, right? We're drawing a trend line here just to show which direction, which way price is heading right now. So until you lose this trend, I think you're pretty comfortable sitting in or looking for longs on Uber or, calls or however you trade, buying the stock. I think you're in good shape until we start to slip this and we start losing some of these lows here. So like right now, like is Uber a buy or a sell right now? Well, until we lose the trend, I would say it's probably a buy. If we lose the trend, right, that'd be my idea. Let the market confirm that, maybe a break and a retest or whatever, looking for that acceptance lower. But maybe it's a buy. Maybe you put your stop below. Right? Maybe you're holding to go back up to the trend because that's what we've been doing for 2 years straight on Uber now. Easy invalidation, right? Low risk trade. Easy. And this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to do this. It's just, I would say buy as opposed to sell right now because it hasn't proved otherwise. But if it proves it otherwise, then guess what? There's a short in there. And guess where invalidation is? Above that high, right? Just on like higher time frame stuff. But this is, again, larger macro picture. You zoom into like a 4-hour chart here. I mean, here we go. You got a low, higher low. You have a high, higher high. If this thing turns around tomorrow, where are we going? Well, we're attacking that high at $78. And again, this is a 4-hour chart. It doesn't mean it happens tomorrow, but maybe over the next week or two here. If this trend holds, right? If this big higher time frame macro weekly trend holds, and this turns into that higher low, and you see some participation and some effort increase, and this dip gets bought, just like it's been bought on the higher time frame. Now you got lower to higher time frame confluence, right? You got the 4-hour agreeing with the weekly time frame, and then we just shoot it up. You attack that high, maybe you go higher on that one. But I think again, larger time frame looks good until it doesn't. At the end of the day, 4 hours trying to push here. It's trying to push up. You can see the dips are being bought. We're not going lower. We're putting in higher lows here. So I think it's really that $72 level, kind of where we're at. Do we turn it around here, squeak it out, attack that high again? We'll see. We'll see. You placed a 323 call. So look, I didn't even see you said that, and I'm kind of agreeing with you here, right? But also, like, just because you're in an options trade, protect your downside. Doesn't mean you don't have stop losses. Doesn't mean you don't risk accordingly and just not lose a bunch of money, right? But it might work out for you. It's in an upswing. Bulls are buying the dips. Hopefully it works out for you. I'll keep an eye on it. Can I look at Melly? I feel like they're shaking out everyone's stops and they have to switch up their trading style. I've only been trading for like 5 months. I could seriously be wrong. It's just uncertainty. I think we can look for reasons why, the market's changed or this or that. Just no one knows what the heck is going on. When a single fake tweet, not fake tweet, but misinformed tweet from a Department of Energy employee today sent the global economy into a frenzy, right? It sent oil down 15. That's crazy. That's like everyone's just so traders are just reacting emotionally right now, right? And that's what we saw. And then it pumped when it came out that was fake news. That's just the regime that we're in right now. So that means that we got to be more nimble in these markets. Let's look at Melly. For Kel. Melly. MercadoLibre Inc. What do they do? It's had a nice run up, right? From July of 2022, you can see it had a little bit of a downtrend. This is COVID, right? So this was the COVID crash that we had. You bottomed, end of 2022 into 2023. A lot of stocks look like this around this time, but then it built back, boom, boom, boom. And look where we're at. Like, just zooming out, looking where Melly is right now, Mercado, just look where price has us today, right there. Why is that an important level? 1730, 1740, something like that. It has been an important level, right? Markets have memory. Here we go. Resistance, blew through, support. Here we meet again, Melly. Here we meet again, Mercado. No surprise, right? No surprise that this is a magnet for the market, because it's been a magnet for the market going back 2 years. So, this is going to sound ridiculous, but this is literally how trading works. You come up with an idea at areas on the chart where people are going to react at the end of the day. That's what trading is. So people are going to react here because we've reacted here historically, going back 2 years. I wonder if we've reacted here. Yeah, look at here. Look at there, right? Resistance, blew through, support. So even back in 2021 during COVID, look, lost it here, back tested it. That's been an important level. So no surprise, that's important right now. So if this holds, right? If this holds and you see maybe like a lower time frame structure shift up, just showing us that, hey, the bulls are still here, right? That this was just profit taking off of a huge run up, right? And now we're coming back and we're going to buy this dip. That's what I want to see now. Or, right, you lose it and then all of a sudden now you're attacking the lows on the way down, because that's what happens on the way down. You just attack lows. But right now it's holding. I think the next few days, again, is going to be pretty important for this one, for Melly, for Mercado. It's battling it, though. There's a battle going on here between the bulls and the bears at the end of the day. That's what's going on. So break 1800. Break 1800, right? We don't need to catch bottoms. We don't need to catch the absolute bottom. We just need to catch the cleanest move, just the cleanest part of the move. We know everyone's so obsessed, a lot of newer traders are so obsessed with catching bottoms and catching tops. You don't need to catch bottom and tops. You just need confirmation and catch the cleanest part of the move. So if we break that 1800, look, you got a gap that we can fill. And then really it was fast down. Look at this, fast down, right? In a couple days, Melly dropped what? 20%. So we could shoot that up just as quick if we get that acceptance higher. I think you probably run into a little bit of trouble around that $2,000 mark, because we have in the past, right? So there could be a nice little play there. Real nice little play there. But if it can't do that and we attack the lows and lose it, you're just attacking the lows on the way down. 1,600, 1,300 maybe. Just if this, then that scenario. It's coming up with an idea, letting the market confirm that idea. Invalidations tight, 1-2% stop loss, risked on the account, I should say. So yeah, I mean, right now it's holding this line. It's got to hold it though. So if it doesn't, we're just accepted lower, and you don't want that if you're looking at calls on this one. Thanks, JJ. I'm working on a new one now. I'm trying to get them out as quickly as possible, but still having them be as quality. Pushing through, it's true. Plus with the whole Iran thing, everyone's probably just on edge for sure. For sure, everyone's on edge. The whole market's on edge. Shit, and it was before the Iran. The market's been on edge since before. It's not. Iran's the biggest thing right now, right? I mean, choking off 20-30% of the world's oil supply. Now they're coming out and saying food is going to be tough to get in and out of those countries. But even before Iran, the markets had been chopping sideways for 6 months, right? So even before the Iran war, or whatever you want to call it, whatever they're calling it, NASDAQ had been chopping sideways since September of 2025. The S&P 500 been chopping sideways since September, October 2025. The canary in the coal mine, ladies and gentlemen, the canary in the coal mine, Bitcoin, right, started dumping beginning of October. That's when everything started chopping sideways. I mean, that's just people going risk off, right? Like when the markets are good, Bitcoin rips its face off. I mean, it's 125. It got up to $125,000, right? But when it's bad, it's bad. You can really see it in the sentiment in Bitcoin, just because it's just such a speculative asset, right? So there's no surprise that Bitcoin went first, and then NQ and ES just started chopping sideways. Now, what else? It's the Amazon of Brazil and Argentina, which, Meli is. Oh, you know what? I just saw something about that today. I don't remember what I saw. You just read so many news articles a day. And this just could be a back test, and then it rips its face off at the end of the day. But watch that. We're here now. We're at a very important point, pivotal point, as Jesse Livermore used to call them, right? Going all the way back to 2020, COVID, right? The COVID high and the COVID lower high that dumped us at the end of the day. So if it sticks here, plenty of upside potential. If we lose it, plenty of downside potential too. Can you check out ASML? For sure. ASML. Looks pretty strong. One thing this thing needs to make up its mind. So, obviously an uptrend, right? A pretty solid uptrend there, but it's starting to get bipolar here. And here's what I mean by that. You have a high, you have a higher high, you have a low, you have a lower low. So we're starting to kind of break a little bit here with the rhyme of just higher highs and higher lows that we've been making. It's been rhyming. The market's been rhyming. When it stops rhyming, we got to pay attention, because it might be trying to tell us something. It might be trying to tell us either A, we just swept liquidity here to go higher, or B, right, the bulls are starting to lose their grasp. So what happens next is probably going to tell you the story. So it's right now, it just swept the low. So it did grab some liquidity lower. It reclaimed the level. It's pushing higher. So if we take out this high, you can probably breathe a sigh of relief if you have a call on this or you're long this. But if we put in like a lower high and you see that turnaround, it's probably time to cut and run, take some profits. You can always buy in lower. So I would watch what happens with this next high here. The job right now for ASML is to not lose this low, because if it is, it's probably over for a little while, but it's also to take out this high. It's to have the bulls still show they're still around right now. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So we swept this low, we reclaimed it. That's good. That gives us fuel to move up, because I'm sure traders shorted the hell out of this. All the traders feeling fearful shorted this on the break, reclaimed it, turned it around. Now we got to come up here and attack that high at 1547. And if it doesn't get up there and it turns around, that's weakness. That's weakness showing, because then the rips are being sold as opposed to the dips being bought. It's just the bears starting to come out from hibernation at the end of the day, right? Boom, 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 boom. So yeah. Thanks. I caught a 35% move over about two. So you caught. You're in it now. You're up 35% over 2 months. Just curious about the current structure. Yeah, so I mean that's what I'd be watching on that one. Protect your upside, right? Nobody goes broke taking profits. Watch this next high though, because it is in an upswing right now. If you start seeing it slow down and curve the other way, maybe cut and run. Again, do your own analysis. I'm not a financial advisor. Just what I see in the charts. What up, Jorge? I do not trade options. Some of the guys in Discord in our group trade options, in our trading group. I don't. I'm mostly futures, and then just like a margin account. Short, sell, buy. But a lot of NQ. Took a losing trade today on SoFi, a SoFi long. But no options. ONDS for Jorge. This is shoes, right? Or am I thinking of something else? Ondas. Oh, no. What am I thinking of? This is drones, right? I'm sure this is pumping its face off lately. It's, so I've looked at this before. Probably not a bad business to be in right now with war and everything else going on. Little bit of a local uptrend here since the beginning of February, right? Let's look at it. It's, I guess the bulls are still in control, right? I mean, you look at like you zoom out, right? Zoom out and take a look at it. I mean, it's the extremes, right? It's still higher highs, higher lows. Even this most recent dump got bought for now. So I guess if I'm looking, or if I'm in a long on this, I don't want to, like, for right now, I don't want to lose that low. I don't want to lose 834. I want to break 1251 at the end of the day to go higher and attack 1512, right? That at the end of the day, that's from a just keeping it simple standpoint. That's what we want to do here. So I'd be watching the 834. Don't want to lose it. 'Cause if you lose it, it's probably coming down to there to $5. Where's the next area that people are going to react? Where they've reacted before, because the markets have memory. But right now the job is to attack 1251 and go higher up to 1512. Let's kind of zoom in a little bit more here. Yeah, we're kind of just ranging on this one. It's like it can't make up its mind. I don't think defense stocks are a bad play right now. Just with everything going on and with drones and I mean, even like Halliburton stock and stuff like that starting to kind of look juicy. A lot of Jedi's another drone one. But it's those three levels to me at the end of the day, right? Buy low, sell high. If we flip this, that's the new low. Then you ride it up to the high, right? Just kind of my thoughts on that one. Overall, still looks good. Still looks to me like the larger picture is up until it's not. Until you lose one of these major lows that it's putting in, right? These major pivotal points, these major inflection points in the market. It's still being bought up, right? The dips are still being bought overall. Why would it drop $5? Why would what drop $5? What are we looking at? I forget. This? Or somewhere was I on something else when I was Costco chicken. Love the name. Let's look at AMD. AMD, take a look. I was watching AMD for a trade today. It just didn't pan out how I wanted it to. It's still hanging on to this big old gap up that we got back on the 3rd of October 2025. It's still just hovering above it. It's like slowly a little bit here over the last couple of weeks, kind of walking into it a little bit. It wouldn't shock me if we come back for that, right? I wouldn't be super shocked. It seems like we're just dipping and dipping and dipping a little further south into it every single day. So I wouldn't be super, super shocked if we come back down to 169 bucks on AMD. But what do you have here at the end of the day? Let's zoom out a little bit more. Let's look at weekly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like it just keeps walking itself lower and lower and lower and lower. And look where it is right now. Right? So there's the previous high on these higher time frame charts. There we are, right? And we've kind of been there for a few weeks now. I think if you lose 187, I bet you it's a pretty quick ride down to 170. Maybe a nice little short in there. But if it holds it, if AMD holds here at 187 bucks, I mean, let's go to the daily chart. I mean, maybe up to here. Boom, 218. And then does the gap get defended or does it get filled at the end of the day, right? So I think those are your main three levels locally that I'd be watching. 169.80. Where we are right now, well, not now, we're a little above it. We're kind of middle here, 187 or 218, and build your ideas around those levels. Like this seems to be like where we're heading right now, 218. So if we can flip that, if you see acceptance and effort pick up, it's probably going to shoot that gap up to 240. And then it's not a long ride to 266. So just a couple scenarios on AMD there. You marked a low around $5 for ONDS. Were you just giving a hypothetical? I'm only giving hypotheticals here, Costco Chicken. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just saying, like, if this happens, then this is probably where we're going. I'm doing TA in 2 minutes per chart. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, right? It's just what my eyeballs see very, very quickly. If I was actually going to trade something like this, I would look into it a little bit further. Does that make sense? They're just higher time frame, bird's eye view levels. This isn't how I trade, if that makes sense. This is just what, people kind of cross-checking what they're maybe seeing with what maybe I see at a quick glance. Definitely not financial advice. What else? Yep, that's the gap I was hoping for. Yeah. And it could, I mean, this is how TA works. Right? Price is just always seeking out liquidity. That's what price is doing at the end of the day. That's what I trade at the end of the day. I mean, it's like, I'm going to show you like an extreme example today on hims or hers. Like, why did hims do this today? All it did, boom, was sweep yesterday's high because that's where the liquidity lives. That's where the turnaround lives. That's where stop losses are. Right, that's where you can trigger breakout traders to enter. It's just the market's always seeking out liquidity. Up, down, it's moving from liquidity to liquidity. It swept it, closed back in. And I know Brandon hit a nice short on this in the group today. But this is like an extreme example of that because it pumped its face off 50%. What do you think the projections for APLD? Let's look. Applied Digital Corporation. Let's zoom out on this one. Let's look at, let's start on the weekly here. So you're running into some resistance. I mean, bird's eye view again, right? Resistance, boom. But still, you look at this and it's still showing me the bulls are in control. When dips are being bought, bulls are in control. When rips are being sold, bears are in control. So right now, it still looks like bulls are in control on this one on the higher time frames, right? I mean, look. A little bit here, it's getting a little sketch though. So right here, right, the dip was bought. It's a higher low, dip was bought, higher low, dip was bought, higher low, dip was bought. But now, oops, what did I just do? Let me delete all these. Now it gets interesting, right? It gets interesting now because we're putting in a lower low off of a lower high, right? So here's the high that created the lower low. So the job for Applied Digital Corporation is to reclaim that low. And then all this was, what was this at the end of the day? Seeking out liquidity. And it was a trap, people thinking they're going lower, piling in short, reclaim the level. Now you got trap traders and you got fuel to move the price up, right? So I think the job for Applied Digital Corporation is get back above that 2740 level, show us acceptance higher, and then run it back up and attack that high at $40 there. Or this is just a break at the end of the day, a break, a back test, and then it dumps. But where do you get confirmation of that? Take out 2416. I think you're Gucci until you take out 2416 at the end of the day on that one. So I think on a weekly, it still looks good. It starts getting a little shaky, a little dicey here as the market tries to make a decision at that 2740 level. I think all eyes are probably there. Above it, we go up, reject, break that 2416. Probably got a nice little short in there, maybe down to that $20 level again on that one. Is that what you see, dude? Oh, yeah, I don't care about balance sheets and stuff, Costco. I just trade the charts, brother. Show me the charts and I'll show you the balance sheet. Show me the news. Show me a chart and I'll show you the news at the end of the day. That's just me. If you want to trade balance sheets and floats and earnings per share and all that stuff, that's your prerogative. That's not how I trade. I just, what is happening right now, right? How can I make money right now? Is it a good place to buy or not? Am I buying into support or am I buying into resistance? Am I selling into support or am I selling into resistance at the end of the day? Hold until 20 bucks. There you go. There you go. There you go. What do you think? Thoughts on UEC? Gucci Bulldog. I just said Gucci and I didn't even see you in there. What do you say? UEC? Uranium. Lots of plays in uranium, man. Again, who's in control right now? The bulls. I mean, it's higher. Again, the dips are being bought, right? So on these higher time frames, we look pretty good, or Gucci, as your name would suggest. It still is higher lows. This is just daily time frame stuff here. Kind of back testing that right now, right? So you had resistance, and support. So it's just support and resistance flip area, right? 1450, nice psychological level. So this is either a break and a back test and a dump, or we need to get acceptance back above. And look, this level's been important, even going back to here, right? Resistance, blew through it, lost it, blew through it again, and then look, support. So all eyes on this 1450 level. Get acceptance, and then you're probably attacking that high at 20 bucks again. Back test failure, break that 1225 low, and you're probably coming down to 10 bucks, right? Maybe there's a little stop in there at like that 1150ish area. Again, bird's eye view stuff on uranium. But I don't know that uranium comes down. I think uranium and uranium adjacent companies continue higher. I mean, you look at gold, it's still showing strength. It's still in an uptrend, right? Yeah, we had this crazy flash crash and, liquidation cascade from the paper, but it's built back, man. It's built back. And I don't think uranium's going to be any different on that one. Oracle target after earnings pump. Let's look at Oracle. Show me the chart and I'll show you the news, right? Isn't that what I said? Let's look. So I think, look, this is either going to be a generational buy on Oracle or it's over for Oracle at the end of the day. So this is like a multi 4-year trend on Oracle that it's been fighting right now. We've been talking about this and we've been watching this multi-year trend on this. So I think like the guidance is going to be more important than the earnings for Oracle. It's either you lose it and it's over, or it holds and it's a generational buy for Oracle and the thing just pumps its face off again. Every time we've touched this line or near this line in the last 4 years, this thing has pumped. So it's holding it. It's trying to fight it, right? There's a trend here. And I think the overall trend is these dips have been bought so far. So my assumption is, as long as earnings don't come out terrible, this thing's probably going to reclaim and probably going to move a little bit higher for Oracle on this one. So let me remove. I was trying to trade this one too, but again, it just didn't line up. Day trade, not longer term trade. So I think the level to break right now is 162.70. When is Oracle earnings? Is it tomorrow? Oracle earnings. Or was it today? It was today. And they beat, right? So Oracle said fiscal to expect to exceed expectations. And for the first time in 15 years, both organic total revenue and organic blah, blah, blah grew 20% in USD. So good news, right? And you saw it pumped based off that news. But where did it pump to, right? That's the important part. Is it pumped to 164, 165 bucks? So it's still got a job to do. And that job is still to take these highs out, right? And you can see the run up in earnings, right? You can see the run up in earnings. You know, people were buying the dips. I mean, it has been dumping, right? It has been dumping. So I think the job, get over that $162, $163 level so you can kind of auction higher. Show that the bulls are still excited over highs and not just at lows at the end of the day. And then I think it's got some room to breathe. I mean, it's got plenty of room to run up if this thing starts running again. I mean, if we do come up, and that's a 140% play, and I'm not saying that's going to happen overnight, right? I'm saying over a long period of time, it could start attacking those highs again. It's had big drawdowns before, right? And then it's taken them back. So earnings came out. It was a beat. It pumped us into resistance after hours today. It looks like it's got to just not be sold off tomorrow morning when markets open. It's just got to not be sold off and get above the 165, 164 bucks, and we can go up at the end of the day. Like I said, could be a generational buy on Oracle. Every time it's touched that trend line, look at this, right? It's just been a buy at the end of the day. It is up after hours. Yep. I'm holding long, brother. It's loaded to the roof. Good job, Gucci. To the moon, brother. BNAI. Guys, smash that subscribe, turn notifications. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me on this Tuesday night. I hear ice beating against my window, so it's like freezing rain outside. Brand Engagement Network. Jeez. The hell? So, I mean, it looked like it was dead for a while, and then it's kind of came back from the dead, and deep dumps. I don't know, man. This isn't this is not my cup of tea. A chart that looks like this, right? Because this just looks like again, it's like you ever looked at like a crypto altcoin. That's kind of what this looks like right now. I'll tell you this. There's a high there that it's holding, right? Support. There was previous resistance. I think if you lose that, it's probably dying again. I think if you hold that, maybe you got a shot to go back up to that $60 level. But this thing is super volatile, right? I mean, these wicks, these days. Well, it's like it gets these little spurts of volatility, right? These little spurts of volatility, and then it's just like nothing forever. So I don't know. I'm not in love with this. This isn't my cup of tea, but I'd be watching that $33 level if I were you. Underneath it, I think it's over. If it sticks and holds, maybe 60 bucks. Maybe there's something going on here, right? Maybe. It woke up after what? Oh, you know, this is just a 4-hour chart, but it woke up after a little while. I don't know. It's a tough one, man. SMCI. Let's look at SMCI, super microcomputers. Let's zoom out on this one. Consolidating. Decision will be made, up or down. I don't have a crystal ball, but let's game theory it out. So again, right? February, March 2024 top, tough break. Bulls were in charge again here for a little while. Till what happened, right? This is what I was talking about. I'm looking at a couple charts today. And you crack these diagonals, there's just such a strong signal because you have liquidity. You have liquidity, you have liquidity, you have liquidity, you have liquidity all the way up. That carried us all the way up, right? So as you start cracking that, what happens? Forced flow, forced liquidations, right? People start panicking, people start closing. Here we structure shifted south. So you had higher, or so you had a low, higher low, higher low, some higher highs on the way up. So here was the low to break. We didn't break it, but we double bottomed and bounced. We put in the lower high. That's our first warning. Then we broke and lost the low. That's your take profits if you got in down to your signal, right? So now the job is simple. Either we need a lower time frame, so maybe it's on a 4-hour chart, whatever. You need acceptance above that 35 to show me the bulls are in control again. Otherwise, I think you probably come down and this just turns into a bear flag and we complete the full liquidity sweep of the diagonal down to like 16 bucks. And this is just if this, then that scenarios. I'm not telling you what's going to happen, but I'm telling you if one of these two things happen, you can pretty much bet on it happening. So if 35.29 breaks, good shot that the bulls are back in control, and then you'll probably get a back test of that, right? If we lose the low, it's coming down to 17 bucks again. If this, then that. So consolidating sideways since November 2025. So it's been consolidating sideways for a little while, right? Probably decision coming soon, I would imagine. It's not going to just do this forever. So watch that 27-ish, watch that 35-ish area for acceptance higher, or just hey, the bear flag broke and we're going lower. And then I'd probably watch that 17, 18 level on that one. So just a few things to watch out for you. That's where my brain goes on this one. SoFi. I've taken some good trades in SoFi over the last 4 weeks. I don't think I've traded it over the last 2, but before that, I was on a roll with SoFi. I was watching it today, though. I just didn't take a trade on it. So let's look at it. Where is SoFi right now? Right? That's the first thing I ask myself. Are we in a good spot to even look for longs, or are we in a good spot to even look for shorts? So current price, boom, right? Why are we being held up here now for a while? Because we've been held up here for a while in the past, back in February of 2025, right? So here we are, here we meet again. We can all kumbaya together and try to make a decision here and auction it out, right? Buys versus sells. Do we go up or do we go down? And then we can zoom in to get a little bit of a clear idea of what's going on. So there's the low, there's the high. If we break this, you're probably coming up to 22 bucks, right? So I think if you break somewhere around, let's just call it 20 bucks, right? Psychological level. I think that's the level to break is 20 bucks. Show me, right? Take out some of these like lower time frame highs, right? I mean, it's kind of just chopping in here right now. Here's the last high before we started chopping sideways. So if we break 20, you probably go to 22 bucks. What happens after that? I don't know. Take it one level at a time. I think the real test will be to get back over like 25 bucks because that was the failed auction, right? Boom. There was the auctioning. Who's got $1? Who's got $2? Who's got $3? No, 3. Who's got 2? Who's got 2? Nobody wants to buy it for 2. Okay, fine. We'll come back down to $1, right? That's a failed auction up here. So I think that's the ultimate test for SoFi. It's going to be like 25 bucks again. So a couple things to watch there on SoFi. When does that happen, brother? If I knew that, I'd be a rich man. I would be a rich man. But watching those levels, right? Watch that kind of $16, $17 area down here for the low. Watch that $20 to go higher at the end of the day. It's, again, no surprise that here we are at that kind of $18 again, because we've been there in the past. Decisions will be made here. What's your take on USO? You think because the White House reports it will continue to drop? Let's look. You mean reports as in what? Because there was a lot of look, I don't know what's going to happen with oil. Nobody knows. And here's how I know nobody knows what's going to happen with oil, right? Because of a White House report today. So you look at oil futures today. Where am I? Look at oil. Look at what oil futures did today. This is crazy. This is just how emotional the market is right now, and nobody has any idea what's going to go on. A tweet from a Department of Energy employee sent oil down like 12% today. Just some staffer at the Department of Energy, right? And then he deleted the tweet because it came out to not be true. And then oil ripped 16%. Like, it's crazy. Oil is just insane. And then also, why are we talking about oil? Why is someone interested in oil? It affects everything. Think about it. It's in food you eat, from propylene glycol. It's in the makeup that your wives and the women wear. It's in clothes. It's in everything. Plastic. As oil rises, everything rises, right? And what are we trying to battle right now? Inflation. So yeah, but I think a lot of smart money hedged oil, right? Because if you have uncertainty in the Middle East, what is usually runs up? Oil. And I think you saw some profit taking at the top off of those hedges, because it probably worked out a lot quicker than a lot of people had anticipated, because it was, 34% run up in a week. It's the highest weekly run up in oil in the history of oil. You guys, right now, what we're seeing right now is going to be talked about for generations to come. You're like witnessing history. People who, economists and people who are in the markets and in finance, they're going to be talking about this moment for years to come, because we've never had anything like this before. It's insane. It is completely insane what's going on right now. So I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know. I think we take it one level at a time. I think it's going to continue to be choppy until we get some certainty in the Middle East. And then one day we have certainty, and then the next day it's back to uncertainty. One day, someone at the Department of Energy is saying we have successfully escorted tankers through the Strait of Hormuz. That was the tweet. And then 10 minutes later, it was, whoops, my bad, that didn't actually happen. It's crazy. It's the Wild West right now in the oil markets and just in the markets in general. Do I see gold dropping from here? Right now, no. Right now, I don't. Bulls are in control right now. I think as long as we're above 5,000, you're good. I think you lose 5,000, right? I think that's the low to watch, is 5,000. Otherwise, I think we're probably coming back up to attack that high at 5,400 again. Do I think we go to, $10,000 gold? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying locally, structure right now looks like, again, the bulls are in control. That doesn't mean one tweet from Trump can't send the markets into a frenzy. That's the type of risk-off market we're in right now. Nobody knows, which is why you saw oil dump 15% and recover it right back 10 minutes later today. It's crazy. It's crazy times. Ed wasn't too crazy about BMNR. What's your take? Let's look at BMNR. Oh, no. I'm going to talk crazy about Bitmine. I don't think this comes, like, if this survives the crypto winter, it's not coming back until the end of this year. Tom, am I confusing? His name is Tom, right? What's his last name? What's his name? I can't think of his name right now. Tom Lee. He has I think he might be up there now for the largest loss in U.S. history right now. I think he's up there now. It was like $8 or $9 billion when I checked on it like a month ago. The largest single loss in U.S. history was $10 million. I think he's taking it out right now. I'm not putting my money in a guy like that. I'm sorry. I don't trade based on hope. Crypto's in a crypto winter. It's not going to come back. If it's going to come back, it's going to be towards the end of the year. It's just a cycle. Crypto's cyclical, right? And this, he bet big on one horse, man, and that one horse lost. So I'm gonna be hard on Bitmine. I'm gonna be hard on Bitmine because it doesn't look great. I'm not putting my money in Tom Lee. I'm just not. Look at this. If this thing rips again, dude, take your profits. Because look at this. Right? Maybe this when crypto turns around again, maybe towards this fall or winter. Maybe it comes back around. Maybe Tom Lee digs himself out of that hole. But I'm just not on board. I'm just not loving it. Just not loving it. LOL, yeah, ETH didn't lose shit. What? Are you telling me ETH isn't down right now? Or is that a joke? I don't understand your comment. Because ETH is for sure down right now. It's for sure down. I went from $5,000 to $2,000. It's for sure down. What else? What else? It said it lost. I think you're confusing what I said, or I'm confusing what you're saying, brother. It's crypto's down. It's going to be down until it's no longer down. That's my point here. I could see BMNR doing the same thing Circle is doing right now. All right, what is everyone in here just Bitmine? Like, you guys, if you want to buy Bitmine, you can buy Bitmine. You don't have to agree with me, right? Buy it. By all means, buy it. But I've been telling people to stay out of this thing since it started popping, right? And if you would have listened to me back then, you would have gotten out with a profit. So if you want to trade based on hopium, go ahead. I don't do that, though. I don't trade based on hopium. I trade based on what the charts are telling me. And what the chart's saying is we're making lower lows and lower highs. The dips are being sold, and we're going to continue to go lower until we not, right? I've already checked Circle, Twang, but we'll check it again for you. Circle Internet Group. It looks, like I was saying, it looks good. Circle looks good. It again, if Bitmine does this, then we can talk, but it's not doing this, right? You want it to do this. I understand that. I understand the hope. I understand injecting hopium in your veins. I understand it because that used to be me, but show it to me. Show it to me in the charts. Show me the bulls are getting excited. This says the bulls are getting excited, right? Show me this on Bitmine. I don't need to catch the bottom. I just need to catch the cleanest part of the move. And that's trading. Trading is not buying something that's doing this. That's not trading. That's gambling. That's hopium, right? Now you can build a thesis around this, right? I think Circle's going to go up. Where do I take profits? Where do I put my stop loss? Well, maybe I take profits there. Maybe I put my stop loss below there. Or maybe if we get accepted back into the range, I put my stop loss there. I can see someone looking at this and thinking along. I can't see that on Bitmine other than just hopium. That's not a trading strategy. That's how people round trip. That's how people lose money. That's how people never take profits. But Circle looks good. I think as long as you don't get accepted below that kind of 88, 89 bucks level, you're in good shape. I think you could maybe even come back up here and attack that $160 level. Because again, fast up, fast down, right? You blow through levels, you come through levels, right? Look at this, fast up, fast down. So this could go quick. This could go quick. And then invalidation on this is easy. Where are you wrong? Where are you wrong on this? So if you're long, where are you wrong? What's the auction say? The auction says if you get accepted back in here, you're wrong because it's probably going to attack the lows again. But it's not saying that right now. It's showing strength. It's showing strength. Show me this on Bitmine. Then I'll get excited about it. It's a good time to be in Circle. I mean, look, it's up. It popped 140%. 140%. What else? Is 45 a resistance for Celsius? It had a hard time breaking it today. Let's look. Not really. I mean, so today all we did was sweep. Well, I'm on the weekly chart. Let's go to daily. Yeah, 45 is not really resistance. So if I look at like highs and lows, you mean breaking it to the south or to the north? I mean, it moved today, right? It could still continue it tomorrow. So here's what I like about Celsius. Anytime we sweep a low and reclaim it, it's now got fuel to move up. Why? Because there's no stronger signal in the market. There is no better trading strategy in the market to trade against trapped retail traders. So what does retail do when we break a low? They go short. So when we reclaim it, they're now trapped and forced to cover. Plus, you got shorts in here that are going to have to cover as we come up, and it's just going to go suck us up, right? So I like that. I like that. But I don't really see $45 as like major resistance on this one. I think it's just, really, I think 43.52 is good support, and that's where we got a bounce off of today. I mean, look at it historically here, right? You got support. You got kind of support resistance flip here, support resistance flip here, support, and then we swept it and then reclaimed it. I think it's got a decent shot at coming back up a little bit here, but there's like nothing above us. There's nothing really above us till you get to like $60 again. I mean, that's where kind of dull, like, so this is what, here, look, flip it on its head. What did we do up here? Here was the high. Then we swept it and dumped. Here's the low. Then we swept it. What could happen, right? The same thing that's happened previously. We move through these areas so quickly. So I think there's a good shot at coming back up to $60 on Celsius. I do. It's just the inverse of this at the end of the day, right? There's a key mechanic behind what happens here and why we do this, right? Taking out stop losses, absorption into a reclaim, dump, right? Trap traders. Human behavior. That's all this is at the end of the day. Trading human behavior. You're not trading a level, right? I don't trade levels. When I draw out these levels, ladies and gentlemen, when I draw out this high or this high down here or this high, or when I mark out my charts in the morning, I'm not trading the level. I'm trading retail and human behavior around the level. Same thing Jesse Livermore did over a century ago. He's over a century ago. Have the markets changed? Yes. We have high frequency trading algorithms now. We have, trading view and all this fancy software, but human behavior has never changed. People still FOMO into breakouts. And these big players know that. All you got to do is push price above the level a little bit. Everyone will start bidding into their shorts. They'll get exhausted. You roll them over, you trap them, and all of a sudden you got fuel to move price down. And that's what it looks like is happening here. But also there's easy invalidation here because if you lose 40.91, you're coming down at the end of the day. At the end of the day. What up, Kush? I'm holding Sea-Doo, hoping it pops again with the whole SpaceX move, but it's sitting at $2 from now. Where would you see the break to break the $3 range? And then I'll look at your very Kush Sea-Doo. It's kind of in an interesting spot. It's kind of a little, it's $2, right? I love psychological levels, and especially when they line up with support and resistance historically, which $2 is right now, because it just makes it makes your ideas easy and it makes your invalidation easy. So look, right? That's $2, and $2 has been important, right? Support. Flipped it, resistance. Look at this, right? Markets have memory, psychological level, support, resistance. People are going to react here. I don't know how they're going to react, but they're going to react here. Like I said, we don't have to catch the bottom. We just have to catch the cleanest part of the move. So here's the low you don't want to break, $1.80. You lose $1.80, you're probably coming down, and you're probably coming down pretty quickly, right? But it hasn't, and it's holding, and it's been holding since the middle of last month, right? It's been holding since February, the middle of February. So it's holding. It's trying to make a decision. It's auctioning right now. Do we auction higher? Do we auction lower? Well, if we lose $1.80, we're going to auction lower. But this is a tough one. Maybe let's look on the weekly. It's a tougher one because it's just like a curve, right? It's not like clean. But, what do you watch? I mean, there's highs in here, right? Like maybe it's that, 219 maybe. Then you attack what? 231, and then maybe 262 if we're just taking it one level at a time. Like once you get beyond that though, there's not much above us, right? There's just not a whole lot above us. It's just been like, I don't even know what you even call this. It's a channel, I guess, right? I mean, there. And you can probably do something similar, here, right? So break the diagonal, sweep the diagonal. Maybe you take out 219, it's going to go up to 263. That's all. Back test that. Like you can go find a big diagonal on a chart. And when we get acceptance below that diagonal or above the diagonal, what happens? You typically go to where the liquidity started, and it started here. So there's stop losses here and here and here. So as people who are short or short selling this or in puts, right? They're going to be forced to do what? To cover. They're going to freak out. I mean, how do you act? I know how I used to act when I was in a losing position. I'd freak out. I'd either double down or move my stops or close the position or whatever. And that's how people act. Human behavior at the end of the day. That's all we're trading is human behavior. So you typically get sucked up and go into there. So I'd say really, dude, watch that 219, 220 level and that 180 level, and I think decisions will be made there. Kind of just chopping down a little bit here on that one. But it's no surprise that $2 is an important level right now, because it has been. It has been, and it's holding for now. It's holding for now. We haven't lost it. We have not lost it. TSM. Let's look at TSM. Actually, sorry, I was going to do Cush's Vary. And then we'll do TSM. I mean, it's getting a bounce in an interesting place. Let me just do Alt H. Oops. Let's do Alt H. Why is Alt H not working? I don't know. So we'll just do Alt J. That's weird that works, but not Alt H. So I mean, look, I can even drag this back. So this is like kind of similar to what we were just looking at, where it's just at such a reactive level. $3, right? It's at $3. Psychological, like the last one I was looking at, was at $2, right? So it swept it. Nice little rounded bottom, Kush. A nice little rounded bottom. But I think you need to break it in order to go higher. And then I think you probably got to watch $4, right? Because look, boom. And that was a back test. So here we broke $4, and then we back tested $4, and then dumped, right? So I think break. I mean, really, it's almost like 345 you got to break, because it hasn't really put in a high yet. You know what I mean? Like this high's not put in yet. So break 346 to go higher. And maybe this turns into like a little cup and a handle or something here, Kush, and then breaks it and goes up. Tell you this, you don't want to lose that low, because then it's just lower at the end of the day. So interesting little rounded bottom off of a macro higher time frame, multi-year long trend, right? Something to watch and pay attention for. Break that to go up. Don't want to lose that low there. What up, Dale? Good to see you, brother. Let's look at TSM for Shimbo, and then I'm probably gonna get out of here, guys. I've been talking for an hour and a half. My throat's dry, and I need dinner. But we will be live again tomorrow night and Thursday night and Friday night. It's either me or Eddie. We have free courses, guys, in Discord. We're not course sellers. We're not link pushers. All my thoughts, how I trade, will get you a foundation, tacticaledgetraders.com. Links in all of our bios and all of our descriptions. Doesn't cost you a damn dime. TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor. It looks good. So just overall, macro picture, uptrend, right? Looking at the daily chart here, the dips are still being bought. There's the low to break to go lower. Let me delete that. And I think this is the high to break, go higher. The high to break to go higher. Did I say that right? Why? Why do I say that, right? So this, first of all, not necessarily a confirmed low right now, but I think if we break this high back here and get accepted, I think you attack that 390, maybe we hit $400 again. Bulls are still in charge until I think you lose well, really, because again, this low's not put in yet. So if you lose 318, bears are starting to come out of hibernation a little bit on this one. So I think you're probably good if you're in a call on this until you lose 319, or you're long, or you have it in a 401k or whatever your situation is. The low to break is 318 at the end of the day. Kind of mid-range bounce here, probably the POC, the point of control of this auction that we're now in, meaning most of the traded volume would be, my guess, has been right there, right where we bounced off of. It would not surprise me in the slightest that that's the point of control. So take it out again to go higher on TSM. Otherwise, you don't want to lose 318, because then here's what you run into. You lose that 318. You're accepted back into this auction. Look at this beautiful auction theory here. Three auctions, auction, right? This was a failed auction. This auction failed. So now we got to reclaim that auction. You reclaim that auction, you are then attacking the top of the auction, right? Maybe it comes down though. Maybe it comes down to 316, but you don't want to lose it, because then we're just auctioning lower, and then we're talking like $270. Hasn't done any of that. I'm just giving you if this, then that, what could happen. Best case, worst case scenarios. What up, Parker? Good to see you. All right, guys, I've been on here for an hour and a half. I got to get out of here. If you want anything else charted, hop in Discord, discord.gg/tacticaledgetrading. All of our links are on our website, tacticaledgetraders.com. Our free courses, our free education on tacticaledgetraders.com. Links in all the bios. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Y'all have a good night and be safe out there in these trying times in the markets, man. Remember, it's a risk-off regime. Stay nimble. Don't hold for the moon. Take your profits because one tweet can send the markets up or down. So be safe out there.